Secret Lair have been around for a couple years now, and the new Super Drop is very telling on the direction it's going. Well, if you guys have been around the channel, I am Cindershadow, and I tend to cover many different topics, and Magic the Gathering is one of them. So if you guys want more Magic the Gathering content, do hit the like and subscribe down below. Maybe leave a comment on an idea if you want me to cover it in Magic the Gathering. I've been playing the game since the inception. The second I was able to get my hands on cards, I picked up the game and learned it real quick, and I tell you, it's one game that stuck around for a very long time. Now, like most Magic the Gathering players, I've dipped in, I've dipped out, I've dipped back in, and I am getting to the point where I don't know how much more I can tolerate with the way this game is going. I understand trying to bring in new, fresh meat and fresh blood into the game, but the new Secret Lair Super Drop is really testing my limits with where they're going. Well, here it is up on the screen. Apparently, they are partnering with Riot Games and League of Legends. I did a video earlier, yesterday. It was released on a few cards from the League of Legends Secret Lair. But since then, they've come out with more info, and one thing in here in particular really grinds my gears, and I gotta say, I'm not a fan of it. So, first off, we've got the Secret Lair crossover with Arcane. What this is this is the details on the League of Legends one. You've got the 4 cards there that I covered. Right now, the 4 cards are Path to Exile. Where is it? Path of Exile, Ristic Studies, Duress, Seize the Day, Crocine Grip, Counterflux, and Thran Dynamo. What? That's not 4 cards. That's all 7. They just put in the contents for all of it on here. So we're just missing 3 of the artworks here. Okay, so this is very strange that I'm seeing this the way they're doing. So Path of Exile, well-known modern card. Ristic Studies, a well-known card because of the artist behind it. Duress, Duress is used in every standard set right now. Seize the Day, I think that's a red spell to boost, if I remember. I can't quite remember that one. Crocine Grip as Denting Blows. I would have to probably look that up. We'll do that here in 2 seconds. Counterflux and Thran Dynamo as the Hexacore. Seize the Day. Untap target creature after this main phase. There's an additional combat phase followed by an additional main phase. Ugh. And that's 4 to cast, and with the flashback to 3. That's ridiculous. That's like Relentless Assault all over again. But you're only untapping 1 creature, but that won't matter if there's one big one. What's up with that one? Okay, Crocine Grip, yeah. This is a card that isn't really played very often because it's 3 mana instead of 2. Split second, destroy target artifact or enchantment. It's pretty much a naturalize in green. It's just, it's interrupt speed, which is something that the game retired back a long time ago. It just means the card goes faster than an instant speed, but my understanding, you can still counter it. So yeah, as long as a spell is on the stack, players can't cast spells or activate abilities that aren't mana abilities. I guess you can't counter Split Second because it just happens. Interesting. Where interrupts you used to be able to counter, Split Second is a little bit beyond that. You don't see much for Split Second, really, just because of how unfair a lot of these cards can be overall. So very interesting that they actually spoiled those 3 other cards in here, but then they don't give us the extra stuff. And so this is going to be a Denting Blows in a round 2, those 2 extra cards. The Duress is just different art for it, and that is look at target player's hand, and you get to remove, I believe it's a non-creature, non-land card, and put it in a graveyard. That's all Duress is. Duress is a very well-known well-used card in the standard meta. Now, the next Secret Lair on here, so they also have a Secret Lair Arcane Lens. Whatever, they're lands. If you want to go out there and buy basic lands through a Secret Lair, that's your money. You do what you want. I remember there used to be a land every couple sets that people would go crazy over, and the land itself could fetch $1 price in foil or up to $10 in foil because it was a certain artist or something like that. And those were neat if you had your certain lands that you really liked. Like, I really like these new Innistrad lands, right? But I don't know if I'm going to get many of them because it seems, if you guys haven't been paying attention to the new double feature that is coming out, they are going to be in absolute short supply. That's just an offhand topic. I'll probably make a different video on that altogether. These lands are whatever, they're lands. You got a forge here as a mountain. You've got a cityscape as a plains. You've got a airship docking bay as an island. You have a swamp as what looks like some chrysalis caves with apparently some poison mushrooms. And then the forest is a big tree in the middle of a city. Like, I'm sorry, but these do not scream, buy me, these are something great. No, they're basic lands and you don't need them. Basic lands, probably, I don't understand how the basic lands continue to be one of the bigger things with these Secret Lairs. I don't know why this wouldn't be together for $30, right? They're charging you $30 for 5 basic lands that you don't need. It's honestly, these 5 basic lands should just be tossed in with the other ones as a bonus at this point for how long these projects have continued to go. And then you got the bundled bundle, the bundled bundle. The bundle. Why? Why is there 2 different bundles? I know people don't necessarily want this or that or whatever. And it looks like these have like a foil version of some cards. This has a foil version of some cards. Honestly, for $550, I'd rather get a Nintendo Switch because I think they're, what, $3.99 now Canadian? I'm also Canadian. So this price point here puts it way out of something I can afford, because at $500 I'm looking at 20 cents extra on the dollar, so that's an extra $100. Is that where my math is just off the top of my head? That's an extra $100. Then we're looking at custom fees. Then like I can't afford this. I will never be able to afford a Secret Lair. It's would be great to own some of these Secret Lairs. I have to say, I would love to own some of these, especially the metal ones that they came out with, or the monster version where they're movie poster styles. But in a lot of cases, I would rather just have them on my wall or in behind me here, as you guys can clearly see on I know it's a little screen of me, but I would rather be able to showcase that here behind me than to play with something like this. And I just don't get how a Secret Lair, the idea of it continues to go on, and it hasn't gone direct to LGS for them to resell it, right? Give these cards, I know they keep giving premium stores up to 10 copies of a Secret Lair so they can sell them, but in some of these cases they're taking up stock room, and these stores don't even have the room for these. So we'll have to wait to see where these really do go. And then they have the non-foil Secret Anniversary bundle, so it looks like you're going to get some of one. I'm going to look at that one because it's $200. This is a lower price point. So you get one Arcane Land, the Castle Dracula, the Dracula lands, the Fibble Fifth, the Crocodile Jackson's Monsters Mandarin, which we'll get into, Far Out Man, and Pixel Snow. I'm sorry. This Secret Lair consists of 3 basic land bundles. I'm sorry, but why are we out of ideas that we now have to give basic lands for these alternate art forms? And remember, all of these cards will be available in 6 months in set boosters. Remember, So that means in set boosters, you're going to get a third of a chance of these cards being a basic land. Just saying. Just saying. Throwing that out there. Okay, so where were we? Castle Dracula. These ones are interesting. You've got the 3 cards. I believe one of them is Phyrexian Tower, which is a well-known, well-played card. Knight's Whisper. And then the other one is Escoin Bond, which is another card that's played in like a Death and Taxes style game. Hunger of the Ancient One for 4. That's the Esquine Bond. Whenever opponent loses life, you gain that much life. Night Feeder Visitation, which is Knight's Whisperer, which is the Dracula. Draw 2 cards, you lose 2 life. And then the Phyrexian Tomb, which is Dracula's Tomb. You tap it to add a colorless, and then tap it to sacrifice a creature, add 2 black mana. So apparently Dracula is onto Phyrexian when it comes to vampire lore. It's very interesting in that sense. And then you've got more high resolutions here. And it looks like you get a set of sleeves for Arena. That's about the only thing that's cool out of these things, is maybe you get a code for sleeves that you can play in Arena. But I'm sorry. Every time they do a Secret Lair like this, it does not hold me forward. Overall. And then the foils, you know, you can get the curly foils, the foils. Like recently I did open some packs on the channel, and this is from what is this? This is from Midnight Hunt, and the card you can see is warping quite well. So the curly foils are still here. We went through a couple sets where the curly foils went away. We went through Commander Legends where the foiling just was horrendous. Probably the worst curling I've ever seen of foils in Magic's history. So that said, I'm not really a fan of this. I'm not a fan of Secret Lairs, because now you're getting direct to your home stuff. Now, the Dracula lands, yes, they're neat, they're cool. I would love to own them on Arena, and at some point they probably will be sold on Arena, so it would be very neat. The swamp and the forest are probably both very good. So the swamp is in the middle of a tomb. It's kind of doesn't feel like a swamp to me. It just feels more evil than swamp, and that's... Black mana has generally been more necromancy and evil in that sense when it comes to the color pie. You've got the mountain, which he's out top in mountain. You can actually see mountains in this one, which is amazing. The forest one, you have forests all around. The island here, you're in the middle of a boat. I don't feel island, although it's more water, and that is where blue magic tends to be, is the flow of water. And in the plains is very interesting. Breaking it down to it, how is a plains a cityscape? That is what doesn't make sense to me. And if plains are now the cities, I guess if you look at the Mandela, you look at throughout Magic's history, plains has always been more of the civilized manner of human beings, cities. I guess that's where the plains do lie. I did touch on these when these were spoiled in Arena. I know I was able to send screenshots of these to various people, and they were able to make videos on those as well. Now the Dracula lands, once again, basic land in a Secret Lair. The Fibblefip one is very interesting, completely, utterly, totally lost. Fibblefip, Where's Waldo, is a very interesting concept. I'm not surprised this is something that's come out. So the idea is that Fibblefip, I don't know if he's in each pane or is in one of the 5 panes. Normally, if this is a Where's Waldo, they're going to be in each pane. And you can just look at this and see everything that's going on here. It's a very stylized, this reminds me of Adventure Time in the artwork in that sense. So a Steven Universe style artwork, very basic, and generally the Where's Waldos weren't really in this. They were in their own style artwork. So it's very neat to see this overall right up and close there. I haven't taken a good look at these myself. Apparently Fibblefip, I'm guessing, is in one of these. Right off the top of my head, I don't see him poking out. It probably, once I know, I don't know if maybe this is him up here in the water because he's got one eye. I thought Fibblefip was a one-eyed homunculus, so meaning he was a made human being type of thing. So very, very interesting to see. So what other cards in this one? You have another Path to Exile. So now you have 2 Path to Exiles in a Secret Lair. Once again, it feels like they're running out of cards for this, and we've seen these things in the past. When they start to run out of cards, they start to grasp at ideas. Well of Lost Dreams, I don't even know what that is. Frantic Search, Intruder Alarm, Sheldok Isle. So it would be nice if they actually gave us a good sort of up-close picture of all of these, just so you can get up and read them properly. These are very hard on the eyes to read normally. So this is how you do it in real time, how you get up there. Path of Exile, we already know what that does. Exile target creature. Its controller finds a basic land, puts it into play. Well of Lost Dreams, whenever you gain life, you may pay X, where X is the less than or equal to the amount of life you've gained. If you do, draw X cards. That's 4 mana. So whenever you gain life, you may pay X, where X is okay. So that's an artifact. That's why it's kind of interesting. Frantic Search, draw 2 cards, then discard 2 cards, untap up to 3 lands, and it costs 3 to do. Really, Frantic Search? That seems busted to me. Intruder Alarm for 3 mana. Creatures you don't untap during their controller's untap steps. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield, untap all creatures. Oh, that's a fun, unique go back and forth. And then Sheldok Isle. This is a land. It's a hideaway. Add blue mana. Tap 1 blue. Tap it. You may pay the exiled card without paying its mana cost if a library has 20 or fewer cards in it. So Hideaway, I believe you exile a card from your hand and you put it on there. And so this lets you cast that card once you get down to below 20 cards in your deck. Here's the thing. With this particular Secret Lair, I don't see you not wanting to run all 5 in the deck. Right? So you're going to want to run all 5 of these in a deck just so you tell the story properly. So otherwise, this is just going to be sitting on the wall as a mantelpiece. I don't know if I like that. I really don't know if I like that. So very interesting. That's thought. Just going through the thought process. Oh, we do have just the cards down here. I didn't have to go through all of that there, but that's fine. That's fine. I did what I did. And then, so that's Fibblefip. And then we have the Crocodile, Jackson's, Monsters, Mangaree. And we saw these in the last one. We saw very interesting versions of these. I'm trying to remember. I recognize this type of art. It's not quite mad, but it's almost there. You have the Ravenous Kupuchara, which destroy target creature when it enters. Managorge or Hydra. Whenever you cast a spell, it gets +1/+1. Pathbreaker Ibex. It's a goat. So all hail the goat, I guess. Bah. Whenever Pathbreaker Ibex attacks, creatures you control gain trample and get +X/+X until end of turn, where X is the greatest power among creatures you control. For 6 mana, that's pretty powerful. I just think there's other cards out there, mostly Crater Hoof, that does similar things and is a little bit more powerful, so it just doesn't seem. Temur Sabertooth, which, if you guys can see, I have a art print of Temur Sabertooth right behind me, signed by Mike Sass, the original artist of Temur Sabertooth. So that's kind of neat to see. And this is, you may return a creature you control to owner's hand. If you do, Temur Sabertooth gains indestructible until end of turn. Pretty powerful effect, actually. Giving indestructible to anything can be pretty powerful. And in good old Winding Constrictor, whenever one or more counters is put on an artifact or a creature that you control, you put that many counters +1. If you were to get one of those counters, you may that you get that many +1 instead of those kinds of counters instead. So the drawback here is if you get hit with poison, you're putting on that. But really, it is a very powerful card in that sense. And then where are we? Far Out Man is the next one. Man, how many secret layers do come in these? These are interesting. I gotta say the one card here. Which one is this? The Fabricate. You know, I'm a big fan of Resident Evil, and I've seen lots of comments going, it's the tall lady from Resident Evil Village on this card. So it's very strange, and not very strange at the same time, that it's gone that way. So really, really interesting that this art style is very similar to it. And now that I've mentioned it, you guys will never see it as anything else than Tall Lady from Village. You got Aether Gust in this. Choose target spell or a permanent that's red or green. Put it on top of or bottom of their library. You got good old Counterspell. I do kind of like the Counterspell. This Counterspell in particular reminds me of Kefka from Final Fantasy VI. If you guys know that game, look it up. It really does look like the clown, the evil incarnate clown himself, Kefka. I gotta say, he's just looking the other way, and that's where that one is. And then you got the Fabricate once again. This is search your library for artifact card, reveal it, and put it into your hand. So it really does feel like they went kind of picked out certain types of arts from different things. Factor of Fiction, reveal the top 5 cards of your library. An opponent separates them into piles. Put one of them in your hand, the other into your graveyard. And then Mystical Tutor, search your library for an instant or sorcery card. Reveal it, then shuffle and put cards on top of it. Once again, a very blue-heavy secret layer. How many blue-heavy secret layers are there? Are people only playing blue when it comes to Commander or these spells? Because I'm getting the sense that blue is the #1 printed card in a secret layer. And then we have Pixel Snowlands. Etched, they can come in etched. I'm sorry. These are dreadful. The concept is okay, but honestly, you can only pinch and zoom and enhance so many times, and in 4K, these look absolutely horrid. I gotta say, I don't like these. Maybe in a video game, a side-scroller video game, these would be neat to see, but I'm just not sold on these ones at all. Like the swamp is just a derelict wasteland with the moon there. The island kind of reminds me of the last rendition of what was it? Was it Modern Horizons or the last Unhinged? I can't remember the unsets at this point. The plains. It's very strange to me to see another snow-covered version of lands, and they're pixelated. I'm not a fan of these on Magic cards. Some people might find these fun, but I don't. I don't really see anything. They don't have the mana symbol in them anywhere. Also, like, why would you put the window cropping on this? Why would you put the minimize and the resize thing up in the top corner like they've been brought out of your computer screen? I don't like that addition there. That's not a pixelized version. That has nothing to do with pixelizing it. Yeah, it's a computer style imaging, but I don't get this. I'm guessing these are all done by the same artist. Once again, very strange addition, and once again, it's a basic land that's been added into there. So I don't get it. And then the last one is the Heads I Win, Tails You Lose, which seems to only be in foil. Is that right? Is this only in foil? Or what? Reversible foil. Okay, so this is where things get very strange to me. And what I'm not liking. These are $100, which in all intents and purposes is probably going to be fairly cheap for what this is. Is this something that's going to gain value? I'm going to guess it would. Now, Heads I Win, Tails you lose. You've got a bunch of cards here. Let's scroll down to these cards. And they're very strange because these cards, you've got 2 versions of each card and they're flippable. And a lot of people have said, yeah, we've got sleeves. This is cool. You get to pick the card you want. But why wouldn't they just print 2 versions of the same, 2 versions of the card with the normal Magic the Gathering backing to them? I don't get that. Let's put it on either side of it and confuse the rules of transform and flipping cards and mold double face cards and all these other things. Let's just go and put 2 of the same card on either side of it. Let's get rid of the Magic backs altogether. They're done. They're gone. This signals that now they are looking at getting rid of Magic the Gathering backing altogether. And that in itself is a problematic thing for the game. Magic the Gathering is not so much about rules and mongering. Like, it's not what it is about. Yes, we all have sleeves now, but the idea of Magic the Gathering is you should be able to pick up a couple decks with your friends, shuffle and play, and sleeves are an afterthought, and it comes down to a secondary market. Sleeves are something that was born out of the game, and that's not what the game is. This is now catering to people that sell sleeves. I don't like this. You could have 2 copies of this, put in both copies and let the person choose which copy they want to play, and then let them take the other copy and put it up on their wall or put it into another deck. I really don't like the idea of these flip artwork. I don't. I think it's lazy. I think it's making less product for people to consume or for people to have, and I think it's a way of cutting corners and now getting rid of the backside of the Magic cards. A long time ago, they talked about changing the backside of Magic cards and making it a different stylized look, a different version of the card, and this just opens that door to go down the path of them completely changing the backside of cards. First off. Secondly, the second thing, once again, this is where I'm saying they're doing 2 things at once when they only needed to do 1 and let that go into the market. They're doing 2 things here. The second thing is this is a full-on commander deck. A full commander deck listing everything, which is, you sit there and go, wait a second, a full commander deck? Meaning they're selling reprints, more reprints. Well, most Secret Lairs are a reprint now. So I'm not a huge fan of this. Wait, do you not show the rest of it? 100 card deck with tons of foils, 10 pieces of killer new art across 5 cards. Yeah. And a bunch of other goodies like a unique flipping coil and coin and life wheel. Reversible cards, what in tarnation are those? Reversible cards are cool new piece of Magic tech. Magic tech, they are completely changing the Magic backing with this, is what they're doing. And I don't think people have really realized this is opening that door. You need to realize they're going to get rid of the Magic back at this point. They're going to start selling reversible cards and openings, and I don't like it. I don't like this. These are double-sided cards, but they have the same function on each side. However, each side has a different art. You can swap between them, no matter whatever you want to do. And then the commander deck, what's in the deck? The deck is from Gavin, Secret Vault. It's a blast to play, and here's some words himself. I loved Cindershadow and Okran ever since they made them in Battle Bond, and this commander deck out of my personal collection puts them center stage. So this is what he personally plays for a commander deck. I am not impressed because this, right off the bat, this deck is just cancerous from everything I've read with it. So you've got Cindershadow, Eye of Wisdom. He partners with Okran, Eye of Chaos. At the beginning of your combat on your turn, flip a coin until you lose a flip. Whenever a player flips a coin, draw a card. So at the beginning of combat on your turn, flip a coin until you lose a flip. This card is absolutely bonkers because you don't have to win or lose. You just flip. Flip, 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 flip. Draw a card. You get to draw a card. Sweet. And you've got the 2 arts there, and then Okran, Eye of Chaos, once again 5 mana, one's blue, one's red. Partners with Cindersplit, Eye of Wisdom. At the beginning of combat on your turn, flip a coin until you lose. Whenever a player flips a coin, double his power and toughness until end of turn. That just seems ridiculous. And then Propaganda. For 3 mana, creatures can attack you unless their controller pays 2 for each creature they control that's attacking it. 2 is a high tax, and for 3 mana, that is very, very, that's a lot. And then it's kind of, you know, the eyeball art there's kind of, to me, it doesn't fit the rest of it. Stitch in Time, flip a coin. If you win the flip, take an extra turn after this one. Well, at least you're flipping a coin for that extra turn on top of it. And once again, you got 2 different artworks there. And then Krok's Thumb, 2 mana for an artifact. If you would flip a coin, flip 2 coins instead of, and ignoring 1. That's the new cards that are in there. Once again, not new. They're all reprints. And once again, it comes in flip. Okay, 45 additional foil reprints. Click here for Decklist. Let's check out this Decklist. Because I tell you, this is... What is there anything in here right off the bat? Duretti Scav... Ralzarek. So this is Gavin's personal commander deck. Visit, really. Spark Double is in here. How toxic of a deck is this? And you have slivers. You have slivers in here too? What? Tavern Scoundrel. So it looks like it's mostly red. The Locust God, of course. Of course that's in there. Misfortune. Mog Assassin. Sorcery. Stitch in Time. Blasphemous Act. Fiery Gambit. Gamble. Reshape, Seize the Day, Ponder, Preordain. So, Seize the Day, it was another card that's being printed in here. So, now you have to get the rest of the Secret Lair. Is this Gavin's personal Secret Lair added with some cards in there? Very strange to me. Chaos Warp, Whirl of Invention, Counterspell, of course. Teamer Battle Rage, because, you know, that was a toxic card back when it was in Standard. Krok's Thumb, Lightning Greaves, Mind Stone. This is ridiculous. Embercleave, Arcane Signet, Soul Ring. Propaganda, once again. Yeah, this is Gavin's personal version of a toxic, undeniable deck that you don't want to play against. Like, I have a different view when it comes to Commander. When I play Commander, I play to have fun. I play to build everyone up and to do a friend's hug style deck. And then once all the hugging is done, I walk them over with my big green stompy creatures. But this is, you're not going to play your turn. You're going to take turns. You're going to do all of this. And to me, this is just one of those decks that when you play it against, there's probably certain cards that have been omitted for price reasons. And then you put it, if you have the full version of the deck, it's going to be absolutely insane to play. This is going to be a very, very powerful deck. It's going to be a very highly sought after deck, I can tell you right now. But I tell you, I am not happy with a few things here. One, reversible cards that have the same idea on them, getting rid of the magic backing altogether. Yeah, we all have sleeves. Sure, it's not that big of a deal. They want to do what they want to do, but they could have easily just printed a secondary set and given you both. Then you, like I said, you have one to display and one to play. That is my thought on how things should go. It costs them pennies on the dollar to print these cards already. They're already putting them to the printers. So I don't know. I really don't know where the idea of these come out, where they can sit there and go, we're only going to print this many cards. You're already printing 100 cards in this deck. What's 5 extra cards? 5 extra cards that could have been easily, as auto includes, once again there. So everything else here is there. So additional foil reprints. I didn't. So in here, what are the reprints in foil? What does it say? The battle bond, I want to spend turns taking additional details. While 5 cards feature new artwork for the Secret Law, there's 95 more cards being reprinted. These reprints feature the Planeswalker symbol, so at the bottom there. Similar to the Mystery Booster, like Mystery Booster card. There are 50 total foils in this Commander deck, 5 of which are reversible foil cards above. The remaining 45 cards feature an additional foil treatment, including multiple copies of both Island and Mountain, and some of a variety of from Magic set. So the extra foils. Wow. So if you guys want to see this, maybe I'll link this down below. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mountains, and it looks like they're all the same mountain. You're getting 8 foil mountains in this. So, and then how many islands? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 foil islands. So that's 15 cards right off the bat. So you only really get 30 cards that you're going to care about. These are not full art foils. If they were full art, then it would have been amazing. Although we don't know. Like, they don't really say what's there. So it's going to be interesting what shows up. Negate is a foil. That's a really nice foil, actually. Niv Mizzet is in foil. I gotta say, this card has been printed to death. It's in every... they had it in starter decks and everything like that. Path to Ancestry in foil. That's a pretty decent card. Rogue's Passage, Spark Double, Sword of Vengeance. Thought Vessel. Thought Vessel in foil. That card right there, isn't that a $40 card in foil? Let's look that up really quick. Let's look that up in Thought Vessel MTG foil. Let's look that up in real time, because I bet you that card Kingdom, sure, they're the first one on the thing. Although, what are they saying? $4.50 in foil now? This used to be like a $40 card in foil. So that's a $4.50 foil, FYI. I guess it would be the full art version. Foil is probably $40. That's probably what I'm looking at. Wandering Firmerall is probably something else that's decent in foil. So Swiftfoot Boots in foil. Hex, this is like a well-played card. This is going to be worth more than $100, this whole Commander deck, if all of these foils are actually in there. So this is going to be a hot item. I'm sure of it. If you guys, so they only have 1 sliver in the whole deck. All slivers have 0. If this creature is in play, flip a coin. If you win the flip, remove this creature from the game and return it to play under owner's control. At the end of turn, if you lose the flip, sacrifice it. Okay. Cool. So it's just another flippy card that he threw in there. But yeah, that's very, very interesting. So why do we have an Archangel here? Oh, they're just using it as the example. So Archangel is not in this because this is a red-blue deck. Once again, a very blue-heavy Secret Lair. It'll be interesting to see where everything lands on there. Anyway, this has been a very long and detailed thing on the Magic the Gathering Secret Lair. I hope you guys did enjoy this. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I will see you all very soon. And thanks for coming out. I was Cindershadow, and hey, this is your proud Canadian Phoenix signing off. Have a great day.